Hey guys, what's going on? This here is Groucho, and I'm here in Destiny, not making a live video, but instead talking over some gameplay that I've recorded, and I've just come back from a week in the Royal Air Tattoo Show, that good old air show all the way in RAF Fairford. It was a lot of fun, really loud, but there were a lot of awesome planes out there. Anyone can afford it, I recommend you go. It's not cheap at all, but that was the reason basically why I've not been on my channel for the whole week, and I'd like to apologize, guys. It was a bit short notice, and I probably should make some more warning for you. But anyway, when I was away, I had a lot of hearsay going around about Gjallarhorn getting nerfed, and you know, as soon as the second I got back on Tuesday, I actually looked this up, and I realized that Bungie had actually released the full 2.0.0 weapon tuning update document thing on their website, and you know, I thought I'd make a video about it. So, well, without further ado, let's get into it. But first of all, I want to warn you guys that this is not the exotic weapon tuning. This is only for the weapon type tuning, so you know, all rifles, scout rifles, stuff like that. So just to clarify that. So how about we just get into it, shall we? Of course. Alright, so first off, auto rifles are going to get a buff, which is pretty good, because I remember back in the day, way before 1.1.1, it was like December time, maybe January, but Iron Banner was on, and I was like grinding the living cupcakes out of that thing for the armor, so I could reach level 32 without doing the race, but also to get the guns, and oh, the Guardian's Demise. I just can't get enough of that gun. It is like my favorite legendary assault, primary weapon. It's good. It's a good scout rifle. I really recommend it. It hits like a truck. But during the during the Iron Banner, the only three primary weapons that were really used was the Monte Carlo, well, not really, the Vex Mytho, but more importantly, the Suros regime, because it was so strong back then. And then they nerfed it to the living ground in 1.1. And to be honest, the whole bounty of getting precision kills and auto rifles didn't really help with the whole auto rifle unbalanced thing used. Didn't help with the whole what weapons were used in PvP, which is a bit silly. But like I said, 1.1 they nerfed into the ground to the point where they were pretty much useless in everything. I mean, they just really didn't satisfy. But yeah, ever since, they're going to bring them back, guys. So what they intended to do was to first off, they're going to increase the damage of it, but as a result, lower the damage drop-off range for the guns. Meaning, they're gonna do a lot less damage at a shorter ranges, but at least they're bringing the damage back. So hopefully they can actually, you know, do something. Maybe, please. I mean, I'm looking at you, Atheon's epilogue, and the whole fact you didn't do anything to those major hive back then. Did you see that? It took like a whole magazine to kill them, but either way. They're also going to slightly boost the damage to PvE enemies, so that's going to be rather nice, don't you think? Yes, I think so myself. Anyway now, moving on to pulse rifles. Now, ever since 1.1.1, pulse rifles have been a pretty damn good option in Destiny, in both PvP and PvE. In particular, which one I'm using now is the Red Death, just for the fact it already had like a really high impact, and you know, it really hurts. And you know, they did this really because ever since launch, they were not really that powerful, so they kind of were made redundant, to be honest. But what the changes they have done now is that they've changed the burst to kill damage on a pulse rifle in PvP in particular to be based off the victim's armor stats rather than the weapon's impact, which is, it seems like a pretty fair option to me. They have lowered the stability to make it a little harder to get those precision shots at range, but again, it's not meant to be such a long-range weapon. It's meant to be more of a mid-range combat weapon. And what they have also done is that they've also increased the mag size of all of them across the range, which makes them more efficient in PvE, apparently. So that's a pretty cool option. That's good going. Good going, Bungie. Now, scout rifles. These things have been pretty lucky coming out of these weapon tuning updates. Rather unscathed, to be honest. And I know there's going to be one day there's going to be that age of scout rifles, and I'm going to be there, a smile on my face, like I'm flying a kite through a burning poppy field. Oh, that reference is so obscure. Sky Rifle Master Race for the win! But anyway, what they've done now is that they have added the damage to the higher fire rate Sky Rifles, which is, you know, they have also promised that this won't affect the time to kill in PvP, as they promised. They've also boosted damage to PvE enemies for some reason. And what they've also done is that they've increased the mag size of all Sky Rifles around the range, which is pretty cool. But there is one little nerf they have done, which I'm going to actually demonstrate to you now, actually. What is that they've reduced the final accuracy when you fire from the hip with Sky Rifles. And what final accuracy is what you can see here. I'm using Sky Rifles, I'm firing from the hip, and it's doing pretty good job, pretty accurate. But final accuracy, if you see me now firing in succession, is that it becomes less accurate. Now, final accuracy is the accuracy you get after you fired shots. And what they're going to do, they're going to make this a lot less accurate to, you know, spam shots in. And this is pretty fair because they're meant to be long-range weapons, and they're meant to be, you know, not used for close quarters battle like what for auto rifles before. So that's a pretty fair change, if you ask me. Alright, now we're moving on to the hand cannons. And oh boy, I feel these things are going to get so nerfed that the age of hand cannons might be over, guys. Oh no! At least they're not going to get massively overused now. And I'm looking at you, Thorn. And I'm looking at you. But anyway, they're trying to make hand cannons more optimal for the close to mid ranges and not be able to compete with goddamn Sky Rifles. Like seriously, you play a PvP match, these things are just getting all across the map, and it's crazy. They're not meant to do that. So what they've done, first of all, they have made the damage drop-off start a lot shorter, like they have done with auto rifles, to try and encourage close ranges. They've also made them very, very harder to use accurately at ranges, and they've also reduced the zoom when you aim down sights, all in the favor of trying to stop you guys to use them as hand snipers. That's right, that's a thing now, hand snipers. Strangely enough, what they have also done is that they've reduced the hip fire final accuracy of hand cannons, which I've discussed before with Sky Rifles just now. So yeah, not quite sure about why they did that, but I guess again it's not meant to be the most close range weapon. That's what all rifles are for. What they have also done is that they've lowered the mag size of all hand cannons around the field. Really? Yeah, and I'm not lying. This is the attempt to emphasize the fact that Sky Rifles are for longer ranges and will have a bigger mag size while they have less damage per bullet, while hand cannons the other side have a smaller mag, smaller range, or shorter range I should say. However, they hit like a bullet train going through frickin' hyperspace. You know? Anyway, RIP hand cannons. Hopefully they don't get too underpowered though, that's my main concern. It's good that they control them, but don't make them weak. Because I know a few people who love, you know, being the whole cowboy Texas Western guy with his last word, and yeah, you know, Clint Eastwood, get 3 coffins ready. Oh gosh. Okay, now we've covered all the primary weapons. Now what we're going to do is cover the secondary weapons. And first off, we got the shotties. Now, 1.1 came around, sorry, 1.1.1 came around, and they had a big change to shotguns in order to make them harder to use in PvP, and therefore be less used in PvP, and make them so strong in PvE. At least that was their intentions. The results? Well, in PvP, it didn't make that much of a difference. Yeah, I mean, people did stop using things like that, but then, you know, we have the Felwinter Sniper. The Felwinter Sniper? Felwinter's Lie! I meant the Felwinter's Lie. That's what I meant. But what they have done... sorry, I used the thing. What they have done is that they've reduced the effectiveness of the 2 perks, Shot Package and Rangefinder. And those are 2 pretty good perks if you ask me in PvP, so that was pretty good. Now what they have also done for PvE is that they're going to reduce the damage by 10%, because what they're going to do is try to make more risk, more reward in PvE, because as you know, using shotguns in PvE is rather risky, and like I'm doing now, using Invective going full on in front of Omnigul's face, that is pretty risky. So what they're doing, they're going to lower the damage and also the precision damage multiplier in shotguns to make it a little more risk to feel like you're going to get a little more reward using a shotgun in PvE, which is it's a pretty sound logic if you ask me. Although it's still quite the firm bitch slap from Bungie, if you ask me. Ah, poor shotguns. They don't deserve this treatment. Now moving on, we've got fusion rifles, and I feel like they're gonna come back, guys. Yeah, so Bungie wants to still preserve the whole, you know, range nerf on them, because they don't like people using them in PvP so much that they've got somehow getting kills at really ridiculous ranges. Ranges which weren't meant to be for the gun, but what they are doing for the shorter ranges ones, they're gonna buff them up a little bit too, so they can actually contend with shotguns in the Crucible, which is a pretty good idea. So what they're doing is that for the slow charging, high impact fusion rifles, they're going to lower the range of them. But for high range fusion rifles, they're going to decrease the accuracy. But for short range ones, they're going to increase the accuracy. So, and what they're also going to do is lower the projectile speed in them. Now, before you ask, I don't know if this is going to affect the Vex Mythic class. I don't know if it's going to affect the Queensbreaker's Bow or the Plan C, which I love and adore because it's my favorite first exotic ever. I just have a thing with this thing. I don't know if it's going to affect them at all, but we're just going to hope to gonna hope to gosh that this thing is not going to get affected. Please don't hurt my Plan C, Bungie. Pretty please. Anyway, moving on. According to Bungie, sniper rifles in Destiny are they're performing to their intended roles, which I mean, yeah, I guess I can't disagree. I love using sniper rifles in Destiny, like so much. It's just so fun, so smooth, you know. So they're not really going to get nerfed, but the one issue that is going to get changed is the whole, you know, final round one-shot killing you in PvP body shots. And what they've done now is that they changed it so the final round will only actually ever boost the precision damage of your shots when you're using a sniper rifle with that perk instead of the base damage. And this change is only going to affect sniper rifles, so don't you worry about choosing final round on other perks. It's on other guns. It's not going to affect it other than the sniper rifles. So GG Bungie. Yeah, that was a good move on you. That was a good move. And if you're asking about machine guns, they have not been touched at all in this update, which was kind of odd if you ask me, but rocket launchers actually have. In particular, the grenades and horseshoes perk on thing. And you're seeing in this gameplay here, well, I'm just making a big emphasis on how far away I'm not even aiming at the guy, and yet the horseshoe to hand grenades, not horseshoe to hand grenades, that's the name of a song. Grenades and horseshoes perk is just doing all the work for me. And this has led to very sloppy sort of rocket players in PvP, in particularly. So what they are going to do now is that they're going to reduce the range of this proximity detonation, and to compensate for that, they're going to increase the blast radius of rocket launchers. I presume all of the rocket launchers here, because they haven't really been specific, but what do I know? What do I know, huh? So hopefully it's going to be all good. So that is it, guys. That is all of the weapon type tunings that Bungie are going to do in 2.2.2. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Do keep an eye on my channel for the exotic weapon changes that's going to do. And as always, have a nice day, guys. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.